Welcome to Blonde Cards and Crafts. Let's make something together. Hello crafter, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I am going to make a card using the Love from Lizi February 2023 card kit, and it's called Watercolour Wonder. It's a beautiful kit. I've done an unboxing and I'll leave a link to that down below. This card that we're going to make, I'm calling a Gatefold Popup split frame card. You'll see in the thumbnail what it's actually going to be called, but it's onto my Popout frame card. I'm putting a gatefold on it, so yeah, it's gonna look like a really cool card, so I hope you'll stick around and watch me make it. I have the links to the products that I'm using down below in the description. There's also down there links to the Facebook group for Love from Lizi, my Facebook group called Your Cards and Crafts, where you can share any cards you make using my tutorials. I'll also have links down there to my Etsy shop if you're interested in getting a beautiful glue pin like the ones I use, and you'll see them throughout the video. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's have a look at what you need. So first thing I have is 2 pieces of white cardstock. Our card is going to be a 6x6 card when it's finished. So I have 2 pieces here measuring 6x6. We'll need 1 panel for the front, and because our gatefold doors are going to be attached to this panel, we have the second panel to put on the back. It's going to hide our tabs that we'll glue on. So 2 of those. For the front of this panel, we'll need a piece of pattern paper. And this piece measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. It'll give us a nice little border all the way around. I'm going to stamp on this panel shortly using stamps that came in this kit, and we'll do that together. So we have 2 gatefold doors, and for these we want 3x6 gatefold doors, but we need to allow for our pop-up frame as well as our tab. So we need a piece measuring 3 3/4 by 6, and we need 2 of those. We're going to do some scoring on them, and I'll do that in a little while because I also have some other pieces that need to be scored. Onto those doors, we're going to add some pattern paper, and if I can pick them up, we have 4 pieces of pattern paper here, and these were all cut from the 1 piece of pattern paper that came in the kit. We got lots of pattern paper in the kit, but I cut this from 1 of the pieces of pattern paper. Anyway, these 4 pieces measure 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Before I forget, there are 4 strips of pattern paper here, and they measure 3/8 of an inch by 5 3/4. Okay, so for our pop-out pieces, I have these 2. They both measure 9 inches long. This piece is 2 inches wide, and this piece is 1 1/4 inches wide. So this one is going to go on the top, and this one will go towards the base at the bottom of our card. We will put some score lines into this, and I'll do that with the gatefold doors as well. But I have some pattern paper I want to put on these. This piece here measures 5 3/4 by 1 3/4, and it'll sit on the top. And then I also have this piece. It measures 5 3/4 by 1 inch. This is a piece of the vellum. I put some double-sided tape across the back so it'll stick flat down and you won't see it. If I just added a couple of drops of glue behind that, then you would see the glue. But if you're using vellum and you don't want to use glue and you don't have a sentiment on the front that you're going to hide your glue behind, then a trick that I do is cover the whole thing in a double-sided tape or something like that, and that way then you won't notice it. So I liked the stripes on this, that's why I went for this for the bottom piece. Okay, so to embellish the front of our card, I have taken the die that came in the stamp and die set. So this is how I store mine. When I get my stamps and dies, I take a piece of 300 GSM cardstock. I cut it down so it'll fit in these little wallets, and then I stick my stamp set on. If there's room to add the two together, because we only got 2 dies in this kit, I have them in here with my stamp set. So I've taken this die here, and you can see it die cuts out the cloud, and it also die cuts out the letters in it. And what I've done is I've added a piece of my pattern paper onto the back, so when you look through you see the sentiment, and I want that piece up here on the top, but I wanted to embellish it with a couple of more clouds. Now in the January 2019 kit we got these 4 dies, and I'm using the cloud. I use this cloud a lot in my crafting. It's just a lovely size cloud, and this is it here. So I've die cut out 3 of these. I'm probably going to only need 2, but it's always handy to have an extra. So what I want to do is kind of, you know, maybe embellish that like that, and then lift this one up on foam tape, or maybe have it hanging just off. I'll see once we stamp our sentiment behind where I want that. Also in the die set we got this one called Cheers, and this is how this piece die cuts out. So again I have this, and I'm going to stick this down here. So we'll have It's Your Birthday, Cheers. I'm going to add a sentiment in the center, and I'm using a number of the stamps that came in the kit. So this is the stamp set we got, sending a happy hello, a heartfelt hello, a healing hello. You could put sending a happy birthday, or sending heartfelt sympathy. This is a great stash builder. This is fab. I know it's one of those stamps I'm going to be pulling out, you know, when I'm needing that sentiment, that special sentiment. So a really handy stamp set that we got this month. So I have all the stamps that I want here, and I'm sorry for the reflection of the lights up above. I kind of changed my up above system, and I have an extra light there, and you can see it just there. It's shining down, so I'll change that later. But you can see here I have some stamps. I have sending a happy hello, and I've taken some of the stars. We got lots of little stars and hearts in this stamp set, so I've taken the stars and I'm going to stamp them. So this, my pattern piece of paper, is going to fit in here. I'll just move those little magnets out of the way. It'll sit in there like so, and then my stamped sentiment is going to sit here. So I have my 2 panels here, and these measure 3 3/4 by 6 inches, and I want to do some scoring on these. So I'm going to pop them in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 3 inches and 3.5. That'll give us our little 1/4 of an inch tab, and then this is the part where our pop-up piece will sit inside. So I have those 2 there. I'm going to do it again with this. So at 3 and 3.5. And now I want to score my 2 pop-up panels. So I have this one here. We're going to score this at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches, and then rotate it. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to, now you could go over and do them along here, but I'm just going to rotate these around, and again score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do that with both of these. 1/2 inch, inch, 1.5 inches, and again 1/2 inch, inch, and 1.5 inches. And then they should fold mountain, valley, and a mountain. So we're doing an accordion fold there like that. So starting from the middle, you're going to go a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. And we're going to do the same then with our top panel. So we're going a mountain, a valley, and a mountain, and again a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. So there are 2 pop-up panels inside our card, and then our gatefold doors will come around and close down. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is glue down my pattern paper onto my panels. So I'm going to go ahead, do that, and then come back to you. So I have my panels glued down on my doors, and you can see I have my outside strips as well as the panels on the doors. On the inside, I don't have the strips in here. Along here you can see I was going sticking it down. I thought, no, I don't want to do that because I want to cover up my tabs for my top and bottom pop-up piece. I have those covered as well, and they're off to the side waiting. I've put some thin red liner tape on my little 1/4 inch tab here on both doors. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue over that because I want to glue them down here. So they'll glue down onto the back of this panel. So I'm going to put that one there and that one behind there. So I'm going to do that next. So you could actually put those 2 strips of pattern paper there where I left them off because it won't affect the card. So you can do that if you like, and then glue these panels down. Lovely. So now we have our panels either side. They're glued in place. We can take this panel then and cover that up on the back, and then we can add our strip of pattern paper. Before I do that, I will stamp a sentiment on that, and I'll get to that later. So now we have this part done. The next thing I want to do is put my pattern paper piece in here, but we have some stamping to do on that. So I'm going to do the stamping next and then come back to that. So let's do that now next. I'm using my VersaFine Nocturne ink here, and this is going to give me a good inking. That's much better. I'm much happier with that now. So now that I've that done, and that's taken a couple of inkings, I'm going to leave that over there to dry. Now I could put some clear embossing powder over that and give it a nice shiny look if I wanted, but I'm going to move on and I'm going to stamp my panel for the back of my card. So I'm going to clean off my stamps, add the sentiment that I have from my stash, and stamp that up next. I have my sentiment stamped now, and that's one from my stash, and now I'm adding down some of the stars that came in the stamp set that we got in the kit. And I'm also going to put these on the inside doors of our card as well. I'm going to embellish that. Okay, so let's move on. So I have a strip of paper for the back of this that can be added on here. It may just cover up that star that I have added there, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to glue this down and re-stamp that star. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll put that down there. I'll put my strip where I want it. Add my magnets. And then I'm just going to ink up that star. And then if I press that down, it should stamp down exactly where it did the last time. Perfect. Delighted with that. So now let's go ahead and start assembling our card. So I'm leaving this piece in. I glue this panel down, and really I shouldn't have. I should have glued down this panel and my top panel. So it's just a matter of putting a little bit of glue under the tabs and then sticking it down to the center. And when I have the top and bottom done, then add some glue to that sending hello panel and then slide it down in between. Now I was lucky. I used the Collal glue. It allowed me to lift the top left and right, and the bottom left and right corners there, and I was able to tuck my little panels underneath. But you can see there where I'm adding the glue. You just need to add the glue to those tabs on both the top and the bottom, and then you can slide your pattern paper in. And once you do that, then it hides the tabs. I didn't need to do that. I could have just stuck them down on the pattern paper, but I didn't want to see the tabs. So I'm going to put my birthday here, and I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape behind this one, but these two I'm going to glue down into place, and I'm just going to use a little bit of quick grab glue for these. So I'll add a little bit of glue onto that, and I'm going to pop that one up here near the top, and then the same with this one. Pop that one up there near the top, and then this one we can add a little bit of foam tape, and that'll give us some dimension up here, and we can add that down then to our panel. That looks good there. So I'm loving that. That looks good so far. We can fold this up and it'll close over. I can add my two little strips in here. So I'm going to do that next. I'm sticking these down using my Collal glue, and they should fit there nicely between the two score lines. We can add our panel then onto the back, and I had a little bit of adhesive there, so I used my adhesive eraser to take that off. So there we go. I'm going to add now our cheers to the bottom, and then I'm going to add some little of these wooden dots. And I'm looking at the card, and I was feeling it needed something more. What I usually do in situations like that is I leave the card on the desk, and I'll kind of let it seep in, and I'll know then what I wanted to change. So here's a look at what I finished up with. So here we are with our finished card, and you'll see that I've added some stars to the panels on the inside. You could do this on the outside as well if you wanted, but I think I like it plain outside. I want to be everything directed to the inside. You'll also see here that I've added a couple of clouds. I've put them up on foam pads because I didn't like the sending up there. I felt it was hidden behind this panel on top. So I like it's your birthday, happy hello, cheers. I like that that's what's on there. And in real life, it's kind of hard what you're seeing in the camera there. It looks as if the clouds are, you know, from here and the front. It really does work well together. So I'm delighted with that. Our card closes up nicely. We could add a belly band if we want, but I'm going to pop this into a box envelope, so I don't think it needs it. The back of our panel then has our sentiment from our stash, as well as some of the stars that we've used that came in the kit itself. And it sits up lovely. It's a really nice one. It looks really well on a mantelpiece or on a shelf, and I'm very happy with this, and I hope you are too. So if you've enjoyed my tutorial, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and ding that bell. That way you'll be notified each time I post a new video. If you make this card or any cards that I share on my channel, you can share them on Your Cards and Crafts in Facebook. Love from Lizzie also has a Facebook group, and I'll leave links to both of those down below. I'll also leave links to the kit subscription, some of the products that I've used, as well as to my Etsy shop if you would like to purchase an Etsy pin. I'll leave links to that. So that's it for now. I'm going to leave you there. That's our first card using the Love from Lizzie February 2023 card kit called Watercolour Wonder. And until next time, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye for now. Bye bye.